Who would you bet your money on? The gym cell or the social animal? The guy that parties 3-4 times a week. Maybe he's in a fraternity. Who would you bet your money on? The gym cell that goes to the gym, pumps weights, maybe puts some things on his Instagram and then he goes home and watches anime. Or the guy that's partying, maybe getting drunk, maybe a little overweight, but he's making connections, he's meeting people. I would pick the social animal every time. A lot of self-improvement, you're becoming a gym cell. You're sticking in your house, you're meditating, you're not jerking off, you're working out. Big fucking deal. That's easy. There's a bigger part of life. And the more that you make your life more routine and secure and boring, the less opportunity that you have because you're trying to control your world. But the only way you can control the world is to make it very small. So you put yourself locked into this routine, this boring, mundane lifestyle that oftentimes doesn't even bear fruit or success or push the needle forward. It's often just small enough and convenient enough to make it feel like you're doing something that's worthwhile. So I'm telling you, you're blocking yourself off from the options, the opportunities that randomness, a life of other people, a life of connections, a life of randomness will provide to you. Okay, so we gotta start there because there is something to be said about stress and the impact it has on the individual. You can adapt to stress, but not only that, it's not what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Sure, there's more to that. New things provide you with new opportunities. And if you have no newness, you don't have new opportunities. You have the same old, same old. So there's 3 trials that you must go through if you really want to grow. And we should begin to invite stressors. We should begin to invite trials and tribulations. We should begin to invite the unknown into our life and stop playing it safe all the time. My big concern is that we've all become so accustomed to playing it safe that we're not really developing, that we're stifling our development, that we're being okay with this mediocre level of self-improvement, which is just safety. It's a safety net, and you're more easily controlled. The first thing you have to do is move out. One of the biggest backlash things that I get, don't tell men to do that. Don't tell guys to do that. They shouldn't move out. That's not traditional. That's not how it... Listen, the reason I say you need to move out when you're about 18, 20, okay, I know not everyone can do it, but one of the reasons you should, and you should aim to do it, is because it develops your will. When you are a baby, you are taken care of. There's no need for a will. You are provided for by someone else. What separates you from a boy child to then becoming a man is that you have a will to power. There is something underneath you. There is something in you, the core, that wants to conquer and achieve and make things happen. This is why I say to you guys, high Thumos. It means spiritedness, man. And the world lacks spirited men these days. You'll notice a lot of guys seem defeated. They seem like they don't have this will to power, this backbone. They don't have this that strength to go out, to make shit happen, and to just get over it. Get over the obstacles that are in your life. Get over the bad times. There's going to be good times. Get over the mumbo jumbo. Get over whatever life throws at you. You got somewhere to be. Where is that will? That will of Alexander the Great, man. What made him so renowned and lived an exceptional, powerful life. This courageous leader. What was that underlying in him? What was that spirit? There was a will there. There was an indomitable will. There's a quote, If, by Rudyard Kipling. And it says, if you can force your heart and your nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. It's the will that speaks to the flesh. It's the will which says to you, to your brain, when you wake up in the morning, it's that will, that driver, that force within you. And I think that's what we need. And I think that the more that you run away from stress, the more that your will to power just sort of dissipates. It's stifled. You allow it to just wither away, to rot away, because you don't need a will. If you're not constantly facing adversity, if you're not willing to step up to the trials and tribulations. So the first thing that I say, guys, do is move out, because it will force you to be a man. You will no longer have your parents cooking for you, washing the dishes, doing the laundry, paying the rent, paying the electricity. These are things you have to do. And it causes you to want to fight for those things. This sort of do or die. This, okay, I got to feed myself now. Okay, I got to work. I got to make it happen. You're living at home. You're way too comfortable. Okay, it's non-negotiable. Oh, I'm saving money. You don't have a will, though. You've been told to go to college. You've been told to play it safe. You've been told to stay in and be secure and follow the path. You don't have it's your will. That's the thing, and people neglect this. It's the will, man. All right. The next thing is you must go through heartbreak, and when you go through it, it'll suck and it'll eat at you. But it is one of the best things that you can go through as a young man, to realize that a woman's love is different than a man's. And love is not this Disney thing that maybe you've been brought in. You need to have this separation. You need to have this eureka moment where you snap out of it. This also develops your will to become a man that is strong and powerful, and that isn't going to just give himself away completely, but can be a leader that a woman wants to look up to. And the reason, you have this heartbreak and it crushes you. But what happens is it helps you go within and reevaluate yourself and understand yourself, and understand that the women isn't the goal. It's not a worthy enough goal for a woman to like you, to love you. And you realize that you had been giving yourself up. You've been giving your energy and your time to the wrong thing. Too much of yourself has been going to the woman when it should have been going somewhere else, somewhere more important. And it takes away from you, so you have to go through this in order to get your focus back. Okay, and that increases the will. So you move out, you go through the heartbreak, just maybe some breakup. The next thing is you must work, or you must learn and have an apprenticeship or some mentorship, but you must have some sort of work. Work is stress. Heartbreak is stress. Moving out of stress. You need the stress in order for you to become stronger, and then not just to become more resilient, but to actually use that stress as a launch pad to go somewhere further than you would if you had just sort of stumbled along and not really had these things and just been locked in, secure. Everything's working out fine and dandy, because there's will that must arise from that chaos. So you must work, because it sucks sometimes, and learning isn't always fun, and having managers and bosses on your back, telling you what to do kind of sucks, but it forces you to become a man and to take responsibility, and also to want to change things, because you don't like the work you're doing, so you have to make a change, and that's where your will is enforced again. Listen, I'm getting too hyped. Okay, I'm getting way too hyped, because I am passionate about this message. Because I see more than ever, I've had the opportunity to speak to a lot of men. And one thing I realized is there's something missing underneath the individual. Where do you get your juice, man? Where do you get your juice? What is that undercurrent, the undertone, the spiritedness? Do you have that spiritedness? From the longest that I can remember, I've always had this sort of, even when things were going awry, or things were not working out the best, I had this spirit in the back, juicing me up. It's going to be all right. I'm going to figure this shit out. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make my life better. And I think a lot of guys, they don't have it. They accept the weakness. They accept that they're fat or that they're ugly or that they're not going to get girls, that they're not going to move out there. And then what do? They just play the video games, watch the TV, go on social media. You have to have will to know that you can take over and have control in your life. You can start to shape your life the way you want it. But that takes will, man. And I don't think you can always... I think that the will is brought on more and more. And that confidence, that will to power is brought on more if you just simply move forward and confront the obstacles and the stress that will show up. And then you put yourself in random environments. You take risks. One thing I would really want to emphasize for the young guys is when you are young, say you're in high school, maybe college, there's a couple things you don't want to do. First off, do not drink and drive. You got Uber, you have no excuse. Don't drink and drive. You will mess yourself up and potentially hurt someone. Don't hurt someone. Okay? Don't hurt anybody. Third is don't get pregnant, or don't get a girl pregnant. If you're a woman, don't get pregnant. And the fourth one is don't do drugs. Seriously, don't do drugs. Don't mess up this thing. You're going to need this. Other than that, if you don't drink and drive, don't hurt someone, don't get someone pregnant, and don't do drugs. If you can abide by those, the world's your playground. Like anything else goes, man. Approach every girl at your high school, ask for their number, and in a year, no one will remember once you graduate. You'll be like, oh, wow, that guy was confident. You can do anything. Have fun, start working out, maybe start, get curious, join different clubs, have friends, go to parties, be a little bit weird, but put yourself out there. Like, do things that are fun, not just degenerate things like drugs. And also don't have all this, again, you want to have fun that also takes some work, not just going home and playing Fortnite. Like, you want to play sports that calls you got to show up to practice, you got to have a team, you got to be a team player, be social. I had no one telling me this when I was in high school. So what did I do? I wasted my high school years. I was antisocial, and I put myself in a cage, and I became a gym cell, and I wasn't social, and years went by like that, man. Why? Why would I choose to be a loser? Best years of your, you got these young, youthful years without the knowledge that none of this freaking matters. Like, the actions you are taking right now will be forgotten as long as you don't hurt anyone and be an idiot. Like, you can just go out there and experiment. Now's the time to experiment, to poke the box, to see what you like, to maybe think about things you're interested in, to find out what you're interested in with your friends. Try little businesses, try selling shirts at your school, try, making little fitness programs for people, whatever comes to your mind, dude. Anything goes right now. Anything goes. You're in your 20s. What are you doing? You know how many men that have passed away, billionaires, they died, come and gone. They would give everything and their left nut to be where you are right now. So take advantage of this, because no one was telling me this. And listen, when I tell you this, I mean it. It doesn't matter. You have so much power, dude, right now. That's really it, man. That's really it. Last thing I'll say to wrap up this message, because I think we need to talk about, is I think too many people are focused on finding a reason to live. They want to find meaning. I think you just need will. First off, I think you need will. You need to know that you can conquer. As a man, you being a man with that spirit, you can conquer. That alone will supply you with the rigor, the tenacity to keep going forward. And through that courage, you will find what you need to be doing. Seriously, I really believe that. With just the spirit, the high Thumos. That's why I say high Thumos, man. It's a blessing. High spirits. That you have that spiritedness today to lead you to where you need to be. As long as you show up. You don't need all this purpose and this greater meaning for life. Okay? You just need spiritedness. You need that. That's what you need right now. The more that you show up and you take on responsibility for your life and you show up to these trials, you move out, you move on from the heartbreak. Maybe you get a girlfriend first, you haven't even experienced a heartbreak yet. I'm not saying, don't rush it. You will in time because you have to learn. You get a job, you get an apprenticeship, you learn a skill. You keep showing up to those things and you take that responsibility. That will in turn provide you with a sense of, this is meaningful. This right here, what I'm doing, showing up, overcoming, persevering, this is meaningful, and that's enough. Helping other people, making genuine connections, building friendships, falling in love, being strong and being able to protect and to nurture, potentially father children. These are all things that give life that zest and more juice. But when you're down at the very bottom, you don't always see this. There's no way to see it because you just have to take the first step. All right? So I'm telling you, you don't want to seek happiness. You want to become happy by seeking, by showing up. That is so big, man. It's so big. Just show up. Stop making your life so small. You're putting yourself in this little cocoon. Stop with being a gym cell. Stop being a loner and a loser. Stop accepting this loserhood, this loserdom. Stop self-improving and putting yourself in this little box so that your world's small, so that you think you control everything, but there's no new inputs. There's no chaos. There's no, you're not allowing God to really give you and to bless you in a sense. You're blocking yourself off because you're in charge of your own little world. You're your own little God. So God can't really bless you, man. So, that's all I have to say. I hope you have a blessed day. I hope that you'll, keep seeking. You'll find. Keep going strong, man. Keep it high, Thumos. A lot, this talk, I have a notebook that I keep all these notes. I have the pleasure of talking to some amazing men in the High Thumos men's community. If you like these talks, these are all inspired by me bouncing ideas off our other members. A lot of these guys are very intelligent and smart. I've become friends with many of them. I've met them in real life. If you would like to join us, come in the group and come to a meetup, hopefully one day. I enjoyed talking to you guys. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Peace.